Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Business Freedom Formula channel. I'm your host, John Arntz, and today I'm delighted to have as my guest, Jeff Kay. Jeff, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Hey, Jeff, I wanted to ask you to kind of get things started here today. What is there anything you're currently working on that's new and exciting within your business?
New and exciting. I actually just launched a brand new product. Um,
Okay,
but before I go there, maybe do you want me to give me some background as to what I currently do?
sure. Yeah, if it's relative, sure. Yes.
Well, back when I was 7, my grandmother passed away at my feet.
Mm,
And at that time, I realized I had to start my legacy early. So I started to preserve cards, cards from camp, stuff from my mother, my dad, relatives, and then that slowly progressed into photos, slides, videos, and things like that.
hmm
And eventually, I turned that into a business.
Oh, okay.
Since then, just recently, I decided that memories extend beyond photos and videos and things like that.
Okay.
Um, Most people aren't aware, but photos and videos have a life expectancy between 15, 20 years, depending where they're stored. Um, so, one of the things that I decided to do was create living legacies.
Okay.
And what that is now you can take a picture or a drawing or something, put it on a seed card, and plant it. So it becomes a living tribute, whether it's a dog, a pet, your parents,
Okay.
a thank you note. So so whenever you see it, it reminds them one of the tribute as to who it is, and
hmm
then it keeps you top of mind.
Sure. That's very interesting. That's
Thank
an
you.
interesting idea. Yeah,
Well,
because
I was into paper crafting for a while, but I mean, and I was thinking about, well, what do you do with all these cards? You get to throw them away, you recycle them, or you send them to the troops or somebody, which is also a great idea.
hmm
But I wanted to be a little more green, a little more earth friendly.
Okay, that makes sense. I can see that. Some things, though, I would think film would be hard to do that. I recall as a child, my grandfather had one of these 8 millimeter cameras, and he would take video, he would shoot movies of his fishing trips and stuff. But I always thought it was funny as a child, there was no sound. So I didn't have the
Come
way of,
across it all the time.
doing the sound anymore. Um, do you do any work at all with digitizing this information for people?
Oh, I digitize everything,
Okay.
whether it's pictures, slides, uh, film, as you mentioned, 16 millimeter, 8 millimeter, sound, no sound, uh, photo restoration, video restoration. Um, yeah, I digitize albums,
Okay.
which is probably a no-no, but hey, I
Yeah.
figure everybody paid for it, so you you've already paid for it to buy it again. I think it's kind
Yeah.
of ridiculous.
Yeah. Um, it's funny because I recall when my mom passed away a couple years ago and I was going through a lot of her stuff. I found a lot of old
Mhm.
photos of people I don't even know who they are. Because sometimes, you look on the back to see if anybody made a note.
And there's nothing
Never,
there.
never saw that. Um, And the thing is, I don't know if there's anybody left alive who would know who these people were. So there's these people that were part of my mother's life at some point, at some level, and there's no way of determining who they were. Was this an uncle? Was this a friend of their father's who took them, that would go fishing with my grandfather? I just don't know. It's
Actually,
it's
there is a way to do it.
there is. How's that?
If you're into genealogy and you're part of like Ancestry or 23andMe or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
you can make all the stuff public.
Okay.
And then your your relatives or your second, third, fourth cousins, etc., will connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might be able to branch out from there to identify people in the photos.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you kind of become a genealogy investigator, so to speak.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's funny because my youngest, one of my boys is very much into that, trying to trace family history back into Europe from where my family's from. So, um, that can be very interesting. So, one of the things in reading this information you gave me that I don't know if you know this, but I think we've all seen this. Um, if you're at a point where you watched something like a live sporting event, say in the 70s, like one of the early Super Bowls, let's say. And then you'll be watching a sporting event and they'll show you some old footage from that game. And it looks like the colors washed out, like it just doesn't look like what it did that your mind remembers. And is that just degradation of the media, or is there really a difference in so much a difference in technology now that we get
Well,
colors much better?
well, what it actually is oxidation. It's kind of like taking a bite of an apple and putting it aside, and then it turns brown.
Mm-hmm.
Film and pictures are the same way.
Okay.
So part of the process that I do is I can restore all that.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a brand new picture
Oh, okay.
or a brand new film.
Yeah, I've noticed that, but yet if you watch an old movie from the 70s, it looks just as fresh as you remember seeing it the first time.
Yeah,
Um, and especially older films that we were children when we grew up watching them that still seem to be as bright as the day. So a lot
yeah,
of it has the way it's stored then, correct?
absolutely. Film and media has to be stored in a climate controlled environment. The Basically what has to happen is your film should live where you live,
Okay.
and I don't mean a tent.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be in a climate controlled environment. If you have stuff in storage, it should be in a climate controlled storage environment because if it's not, it'll degrade that much faster.
Okay. Okay. And that's probably why a lot of early film from the movie studios from Hollywood, as it were, probably deteriorated. They would just put the can on the shelf and thought it would stay there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and plus this the when you're storing it, it should be in some type of acid free container,
Mm-hmm.
which you can get on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It'll keep stuff for 50 years or so.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive. Very impressive. So this new product you alluded to, that has to do with the using the cards with the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
how did that, have you actually launched that yet?
Yes, it's on my website.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that sounds kind of interesting. A little different. I've noticed, I know that there's a group, I've seen a couple of ads for it that pop up when I'm scrolling through. my news feeds and things about, people um setting up so that when they pass away that their remains are turned into the earth somehow other, I'm not sure what their
Yeah,
process is, but yeah, that when I started reading about your preserving this stuff, that popped into my head. I know they're not really related, but it's funny how we've shifted a lot in our thinking from when we were children.
I'm not sure if a person's ever been created into a card. That might be an interesting concept.
Mm.
I do know that there's technology out there where you can take a person who's passed and turn them into a diamond.
Okay, I have heard of that. Yes.
Of
I mean,
of course, by the time you turn them into a diamond, it'll be. I'm not talking about the hoop diamond. I'm talking about like a little diamond speck.
yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, when diamonds are carbon and this earth is full of carbon-based life forms,
Yeah.
it wouldn't take much. Yeah, that's kind of an odd stuff. But so one of the things you're trying to do then, I guess, is to get people to start preserving their stuff for their family and their legacy. Do you do anything with, like, pardon me, one of the things I know is, I see the pictures, but I don't know the story.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, I have a picture of my grandmother when she was maybe 15 or 16 years old. And it's hard to tell now if this was for her confirmation, if this was for, um, if she was attending a wedding, if it was some kind of like, 16-year-old coming out party, whatever it was. It's a very pretty dress, and she's with somebody, and nobody in the family knows who this man is. And we know it's not her father. Okay. So we don't know if it's an uncle or who it might be. And so you don't know what the story was behind all of that. And I think a that's important too, to preserve the stories of the family, because I've gotten mixed. I've heard the same story from different people in different ways, and some of them don't even come close to matching each other. So you really begin to wonder what really did occur, you know?
Well, and that's one of the reasons why people need to start preserving their memories early before people are starting to pass away. And I'm guilty of that myself.
Mm-hmm.
My dad passed away in 2008. My mom passed away in 2017. And I was going through albums and she took a picture of a tree.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea the significance of a tree.
Right.
So there's just some stuff as you're sifting through it. If you can't figure out what it is, it's not worth restoring. But to get back to your question, one of the things I ask my clients to do, and it is a service I offer, is to capture the metadata of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And what metadata is adding names, dates, a story behind the picture. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you think somewhere down the road, say, just a hypothetical example, say your mom was Sarah, and say your cat was Mary,
Mm-hmm.
for example. 50 years from now, is Mary the person or is Sarah the cat?
Yeah. Yeah.
So details matter.
Sure they do. Sure they do. And one of the things, as I remember growing up before all of the digital cameras and all of that, um, you would take pictures of an event of some kind, get the film processed, look at the pictures. A lot of times you just wrote on the back what was on there, what it was about.
Sure.
You can't do that now with digital pictures. Not directly. Like there are times I was going through just recently, looking through my phone, clearing some space, wondering why I took pictures of certain things. Just like you said, why the tree? Why did I take that? I can no longer recall. And now maybe there is a way for me to put a
There-
caption on pictures on my phone, and I
which
just
there
don't always
is,
think to do it. But
which there is.
yeah,
And I mean, on phones, that there is a way to capture the data, do captions. You can tell when the picture was taken, what it was taken on.
hmm,
Some cameras, there's even a way to, I mean, you can put a story or something there.
yeah,
Because one of the things that I do when somebody brings me pictures, not only do I scan the front, I also scan the back
okay, okay,
because as important as the picture is, the information on the back is just
sure,
important, if not more important.
sure. I mean, you might say if a family member went to New York, took a picture of the Statue of Liberty. We all know what that is,
Yeah,
okay, but we don't know when it occurred,
right.
okay, and who was there. So, it could have been 55. Somebody went on vacation or their honeymoon or something. And now 50 years later, you're looking at it going, that's pretty. I know what that is, but why was this taken? Because you've lost the whole story. You just realize somebody was in New York and took that.
Could have been Ellis Island.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I like that. So, um, I noticed that you're doing, it seems like you're doing two things. One is you help people build these repositories of all of their memories as well as restoring them. But I also kind of get the feeling that you actively encourage people to do for themselves, to find these things, to preserve them to the best of their abilities. Would that be accurate?
Yes, it would. Uh, I do the best I can. And yes, I have special equipment and
Mm.
everything to help people. Can people do it on their own? Yes, yes, they can. Most of the reason why people don't is we live in busy times.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face
Yes.
it, they just don't have the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
To put things in perspective, you can make coffee at home, yet people choose to go to Starbucks.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. One less dish to wash, though.
Huh?
One less dish to wash.
This is true,
There is
but
that trade-off.
yeah, but I use I've got a proprietary process. I don't use just, I mean, and I'm not knocking anybody who does this. There's many different ways to capture memories and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's camera scanning, but from my perspective, it gets by the time you buy the camera stand, and all the peripherals for the slides and the various types of media, you're talking thousands of dollars.
Oh, okay.
And depending upon what your goal is, if you're looking for museum quality, maybe that's the direction you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just looking for something like a family archive,
Mm-hmm.
you can easily scan it at 600 DPI or 1200 DPI and
Mm-hmm.
get fantastic results.
Sure.
And one of the things there's a couple of things that I offer. I used to offer DVDs, which,
Okay.
which I still do,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an old technology. It's not something that I would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
DVDs or the players are even becoming hard to find,
Sure.
and the DVDs themselves are they're not easy to create as opposed to digitizing it and throwing it onto a USB.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what I tell my clients, if you put it on a USB, make sure you also put it on a hard drive and put it in the cloud
Mm-hmm.
because you at least want to store this in 3 to 5 places.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because, um, coming from a business background, um, for me, data is the most important. I can always buy a new computer. It's really hard to restore the data, to find
Oh
the data,
yeah,
to recreate the data. And so just if you look at the film, the pictures, the cards, all those memorabilia things, those are all your data, your family data. You can't get those back once they're lost.
no,
And and the nice thing about having them digitized too is if you have a situation where you're, wherever those are stored should burn down, you still got them.
and
You may
what
not
most
have the
people
original copy, but you still have them.
right, and what most people don't realize is that your USB is a temporary storage. It's not permanent storage.
Hmm.
At least it's not something I would put on as permanent storage.
Hmm.
I'm going to go back to the beginning here because
Hmm.
when I told you I also digitized cards and things like that.
Sure.
After my mom died in 2017 and we went through her house, unbeknownst to me, I found a box, and inside the box were cards from when I was born.
Okay. Okay.
I've started to digitize those.
Oh.
I have my artwork from when I was a kid. I started to digitize that.
Hmm.
So for people who have kids that have all these projects, you don't know what to do with them, but you want to preserve them. It's not just photos that can be
Sure.
preserved. It can be artwork,
Sure.
or or say you're downsizing your house, but you have all these photos.
Hmm.
Digitize them, free up the space.
Yeah. I remember when, when my kids were growing up, we had these four different boxes with their names on it. And whenever we were preserved, it just went in the box.
Yep,
Okay. And they were there in the box by their names. And then when they got to a certain age, we just gave them the box and said,
here.
now you can go back and look at yourself when you were younger, and what you do with it is up to you. But we still have way too many containers full of things
Oh,
that
sure.
need to be sorted. And it almost looks daunting, like it's so overwhelming you don't even know where to start, so you don't.
And that's where I come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In a previous life, I used to be an international project manager.
Okay.
So it's those skills that
Sure.
translate into what I'm doing.
Certainly. I can get that. It's your organizational skills, your planning skills, those kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all very methodical.
Sure. Yeah. And I think there's something, it's a lot easier. I've noticed too when I've worked with in my working life and I would visit a client and they were having a problem with something. When you're standing on the outside looking in, it doesn't look as daunting because I don't have the emotional attachment. And when you're talking about family stuff, things, there's a great deal of emotional attachment. Whether that's good or bad, it's still an emotional attachment. And um, that's probably one of the things that makes it so hard. And here's what typically happens, I think, is you start on something like that, you pick something out and go, and you're spending 10 minutes on one piece. The
Yeah,
next thing you know, you've spent an hour and you've gotten nowhere because you go back down memory lane,
yeah.
you try to figure out people, you share it with who's ever around, and the project never gets done.
That's
Yeah,
the main thing.
yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that I come across. I've seen wakes. I've seen open caskets. I've seen um, brides getting dressed.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Well,
and yeah, I mean, you just wouldn't believe some of the stuff that I see.
mm-hmm.
I mean, then the funny part is when the client comes back, oh, how did my stuff turn out? Oh, it turned out great.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm not going to tell them, no, your wife's getting dressed. But
Yeah, no, I mean, some things need to be left unsaid,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, when I digitize VHS or 8 millimeter or whatever, I I pretty much set it and forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I do that is because they're your personal memories,
Sure.
and they're none of my business.
Right.
I occasionally popped in to make sure everything is going
Still
right.
running. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't sit there and watch a movie.
Yeah. You don't have that time. There's other things that you can do. If you've
Yeah.
got an hour of film to digitize, there's other things you can be doing while that hour is running.
Oh yeah.
So I get that. I get that very much. So um it's yeah, it's
I just don't want to intrude on somebody's personal life.
sure.
It's
Yeah, and I think everybody can appreciate that. And it may be one of the things that keeps people from contacting somebody like you because say, gee, do I really want some stranger I don't know looking at my whole life?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah, especially those of us who grew up in the late 60s and early 70s. There may be some film of some things we don't want the rest of the family to know about.
Oh, come on. Those become YouTube moments. Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
of course they do. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that old expression, well, it was the 60s, it like explains everything, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Uh,
Absolutely.
well, Jeff, this has been a wonderful conversation. This is how you mentioned that you have a website.
I
Could
do.
you tell us what that is?
Sure. It's mydigital-memories.com.
Oh, well, then people can get in touch with you that way or find out more about your what you do and how to connect with you if they want to involve you, get in your service and use your service. And
Yeah,
that's terrific.
yeah, right now I've got specials going, holiday specials.
Hmm.
Makes a great gift.
Hmm.
Somebody just got, I think, 5 USBs for his family members.
Well,
So we do gift certificates. So for the person who has everything,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they don't have this.
No, I'm sure they don't. Very few people probably do. All right. All righty. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for your time today, and I wish you continued success.
Oh, thank you so much. This was a pleasure.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you.